best values. Samsung.
The importance of education. Just a few moments ago, we heard President Obama laying out some of his priorities, saying there will be investment in innovative initiatives to get our schools to reach higher standards. He also wants incentives for better teacher performance and to help students reach their potential. Well, these tough times are making for tough choices in the area of education. Teachers are dealing with state budget problems, while students and their parents deal with hard decisions on their futures. We want to share their stories with you. It's a snapshot across America. Joining me this morning from New York is Jacqueline Hanna. She's the mother of a graduating senior. Rebecca Tobias, who is getting ready to graduate from high school. And then in Atlanta, John Krafka is the father of 2 college-age students. Also, Monica Vega Herring is a teacher in the Atlanta public school system. Let's go ahead and begin with you, Jacqueline. Now, I know you have 2 sons in high school, but obviously that means, if you so choose, college is next, and one of them is getting ready to graduate. Tell us a little bit about your story and your concern.
Well, my oldest son, Christopher, is a senior at Uniondale High School, and he was accepted at SUNY at Delhi. And, you know, we're all very excited about him going off to college. He had actually preferred some other colleges, but the tuition was a little steep, so we decided to go with the SUNY school at this time. But I think that he'll do well.
I'm sorry,
in
just
school.
remind us what the SUNY school is for those who don't live up there.
Yes, SUNY at Delhi, which is in Delhi, New York, upstate New York, and he wants to major in physical education.
Okay, so how is this different than what you had really envisioned for your son?
Well, we had looked at some other private schools, but the tuition was just too steep. And again, you know, Christopher played sports for a long time, and this will be the first time he's actually attending a college where he's not going to be able to play football because this was a SUNY school that accepted him. So although he was a little disappointed, I still think he's very excited about, you know, continuing his education.
All right, very good. We sure do appreciate that.
Thank you.
Also, schools' budgets are shrinking, of course, because of shortfalls in the state budgets. Well, that is making things pretty darn tough on teachers as well. Monica Vega Herring teaches in the Atlanta public school system and joins us now. Tell me what the main challenge is that you face as a teacher.
Well, we're concerned because we're seeing that counties all around us are cutting teachers' salaries and cutting teaching positions. So we're pretty worried that, you know, we're next on the line. So everybody's been a little scared about that. Also, we've been having to deal with budget cuts, with having to do with field trips. That budget has been cut. Also, we're dealing with schools that are consolidating here in Atlanta to help meet some of those budget challenges. We're concerned. I have friends who were educators who haven't received contracts yet. They don't know if they have a position next year or not.
Well,
so
you've been a teacher for something like 10 years. Yes. What is it that's different right now? I mean, is this a crisis?
Yes, it definitely is. I mean, as an educator, I've always had to come out of my own pocket to pay, but it gets uncomfortable when I have to continuously ask parents to donate supplies, things like pencils, ink cartridges, and things like that for my classroom.
Yeah, so if parents aren't paying and donating them, you yourself are paying for some of your supplies in your own classroom. All right, Monica, we sure do appreciate that snapshot. And obviously, students are also facing some tough choices. Can they afford to go to the college of their choice, or do they actually have to scale back on their expectations? We've already heard a little bit about this, but let's go straight to the source. Rebecca Tobias is facing that actual decision right now. She's getting ready to graduate from Half Hollow Hills High School West. It's in Dix Hills, New York. So, Rebecca, are you nervous? Have you changed your plan in any way?
Yeah, I was always hoping to go to Clark University, which is one of the best psychology schools in the country. But unfortunately, because of cost reasons, I might have to go to a SUNY school.
Okay, so, and how do you feel about that?
Well, SUNY schools are great, but I've always been interested in psychology, and I would really appreciate being able to go to a school that was known for it. I've taken tough courses. I took AP Psychology at my school and loved it, and I would be sad to see that I wouldn't be able to go to the school that I wanted because of the economy.
So you've basically been planning for this part of your life, your whole life, or at least most of your life, where you could understand the ramifications of saving and going on to college for your future career world. What do you see in your future now?
Well, I'm not really sure. Yeah, as you said, I've been preparing for a long time. I mean, my parents we're putting money away, but by now my college account is worth less than half of what it was when I started my junior year. So I'm not really sure where I'm going to be able to go after college. I don't want to graduate with a lot of loans and then not be able to make it to graduate school.
Yeah, understood. All right, Rebecca, thank you. And now, double the anxiety of paying for college. We've got a dad. John Krafka is the father of 2 college-age students. And John, you are paying some money big time right now. Tell us your story.
Well, it could be worse. Fortunately, my wife and I's 2 kids, their first choice for college was a school here in the state of Georgia, an in-state school, and they were both accepted, University of Georgia. And it could have been a lot worse. If they had not gotten into their school of choice, they would have been looking at out-of-state tuition across the state border. And but in spite of that, the fact is that we've got a lot of expenses with room and board and apartment leases and the various book expenses, and so we're having to borrow from the money that we would have put into our retirement plan.
Yeah, and that is obviously an issue that brings up many other questions. It's really something that no parent wants to do. First of all, say, you know what, I know you want to go to that school, but we flat out can't afford it. Or tell them that you can go there, but you know you're going to have to pay for it later after you get your first job. Right.
A lot of kids are having to work in college. I work at a university here in Atlanta, and we see a lot of kids who are working their way through college and having to make some of those tough choices about where they live. You know, how many years do they want to live at home versus living in a traditional dorm or college rooming experience. Yeah, there's nothing worse than having to live with mom and dad while going to college. Yeah, that's for sure. All right, John. I agree. I'm kidding. All right, we sure do appreciate your story as well. I also want to thank our other guests for sharing their stories with us today. Jacqueline Hanna, Rebecca Tobias, and Monica Vega Herring. Thanks, everybody. So, improving education and making college more affordable. The president is certainly talking about it, and so are we, with former Education Secretary Bill Bennett in a moment.